Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Georg Mack Plays the Classics. Sega joins the pro wrestling ranks with pro wrestling on the Sega Master System. I don't know what it was about tag team wrestling, but all of our wrestling games so far have been strictly tag team matches. I suppose that should make it easy to compare them all to one another. This is an edited port of the Japanese game Gokuaku Dome Dump Matsumoto, which stars female Japanese wrestlers. You have 4 teams you can choose from: the Mad Soldiers, Bustle and Iron Soldier, the Orient Express, Dragonfly and Giant Bull, the Great Maskmen, Green Mask and Stonehead, and the Crush Brothers, Elder Crusher and Younger Crusher. The first 2 teams will only battle the second 2 teams and vice versa. Apparently each team is programmed to either the red corner or the blue corner. If Kevin Kelly has taught me anything, it's bad guys are in the blue corner. After choosing your team, you're tasked with defeating your opponent 10 times in a row in the Mexican League to win the Mexican titles. You and your opponents come down the aisle to a theme song and the 3-minute time limit matches on. Everyone shares the punch, button 1, kick, button 2, and running body attack, button 1 and 2 together. However, once knocking the opponent to the mat, you can hold button 1 to do a grapple attack that varies for every wrestler, from the body slam to the pile driver to the Boston Crab and more. Or you can tap button 1 and push your opponent into the ropes. Then you can launch an attack with either button 1 or button 2. A couple of these attacks are shared between wrestlers, but the variety is there. A couple of the teams can find a steel chair on the floor, and others can take it to the top rope to attack. After you beat the first team 10 times, you win the Mexican tag titles and fly off to Hawaii to challenge for the Pacific tag titles. You then face the other team 10 times to capture more gold. Finally, you fly off to New York to challenge the first team again for the World Tag Titles. After trying all the teams out, I decided to win with the Orient Express because Giant Bull has the Boston Crab, which I found to be overpowered in earlier rounds. I won matches in all sorts of ways to make sure I had good footage for this video, but I fumbled into what I can only call an exploit that made the last 15 matches I played completely trivial. 3 kick-punch combinations in a row will knock your opponent down long enough to be able to pin him, which will lead to a 3 count every time. If the opponents are able to break the sequence, I can't guarantee it'll work, but I plowed through the game in order to win the World Tag Titles with this technique. When it comes to grading pro wrestling on Sega Master System, graphics get a 2.5. Graphics are similar in style to Muscle, but better in every way. Wrestlers have many colors, backgrounds are way nicer. Sound gets a 2.5. There are multiple songs that play in this game. Sound effects are nothing special, but certainly not bad. Gameplay gets a 2.5. It took me a couple of matches to get the controls down, but after I did, they worked most of the time. Matches are repetitive because of the lack of moves. Difficulty gets a 1.0. Difficulty might be slightly higher if it wasn't for the exploit I stumbled into. I don't think the computer would beat me if I wasn't screwing around though. Fun factor is a 2.5. I had way more fun with this than I did with either of the other wrestling games we've seen. Overall, Pro Wrestling gets a 2.2 and earns a C+, and it is indeed better than Tag Team Wrestling and Muscle on NES. Nintendo's Pro Wrestling will come up next week, so we'll be able to compare. That's going to do it for me for today. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to Head Drop Productions on YouTube, because I want you here for each and every video release we have, because it is your destiny.